So you're going to be able to need to keep up your energy for 4 hours of riding at high speed. Second thing is you're going to have to be strong enough to be able to move quickly, minimize mistakes. Because you're moving at well over 100 kilometers an hour, small mistakes can lead to big crashes. So we want to make sure we avoid that. And then third thing is that it's a 2-day race. You want to make sure that you're able to recover at the end of day one and be ready to go for day two, not be dreading the return home on day number 2. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you how to combat each of those problems so that you can prepare as best you possibly can going into Gas Dash. So to tackle our first problem, keeping up your energy for a 4-hour period, you're going to have anywhere between 2 to 3 fuel stops along the race. So what you want to be able to do is make sure that we've got a quick and easy system to be able to refuel your body as well as refueling the bike. So as you're going through the racing, you're burning carbohydrates. They're your major fuel source. So the riders that have got this nailed will continue to be able to push hard and have energy after the first hour. The riders that haven't got this nailed are the ones that are going to hit the wall at about the hour mark when they start to run out of carbs because they haven't topped themselves up. So what's the easiest way to do this? It's using something like this, like a carb gel. So these carb gels have about 30 grams of carbs in them. We want to have anywhere between 30 to 45 grams of carbs for every hour of riding. So if you're taking it more as a leisurely ride, you can probably just have one of these. If you're pushing quite hard and it is quite hot and you are definitely doing strenuous exercise by riding, then you'd probably want to have 2 of these at each stop. So that'll make sure that we're getting enough carbs in as we're going through the ride. The other option that you have is you can also put a bottle of Powerade in your camelback. You'd need to go through about 3 bottles of Powerade if the ride's going to take you 3 hours, which is a fair bit of liquid to go through when you're riding at high speed. So that's why I recommend the gels, but the Powerade's also another option. Second thing that we need to tackle is you're moving very quickly. And when you're moving very fast, things happen very quickly. Small mistakes can turn into big crashes, big accidents, purely because of the speed. So we want to make sure you can get yourself as strong as you possibly can. The stronger you can get yourself, the lighter you'll get the bike to feel. The lighter you can get the bike to feel, the less energy you'll use when you're riding and racing. But more importantly, when you're riding so fast and the bike kicks out or does something that you don't want it to do, the stronger you are, the easier it is to be able to correct that and manhandle the bike. For those of you that don't have the strength there, don't have the endurance there, it's much harder to be able to correct the bike. So that increases your chances of coming off and getting hurt, which we want to avoid. So how do we do that? We do some strength work. So some simple stuff, I'll just set you guys up over here that you can implement, is using something like a bar and weights, which I've got set up here. So you just need a squat rack, okay, something like this. You can use a weight bar and then something like bumper plates. So some exercises that you can start with. You can start with things like a back squat, okay, which is quite simple. So we've got the bar on your back, we push our hips back, and then we bend with the knees. So you can either set up with this stuff at home. A lot of our guys do set up at home because we don't use much equipment with what we do. But otherwise, if you've got access to a gym or you can get access, it's well worth getting access to it so you've got the right equipment. Because there's no amount of push-ups or bodyweight squats you're going to be able to do that's going to get you the strength you need to be able to wrestle around a 100 kilo plus bike. The other thing that you can do is to help build strength is deadlifts, which is a great movement. We can start at the floor or mid-shin and we just move up to a standing position. And so you can start off with, say, 4 sets of 10, and you can do 4 sets of 10 deadlifts in one session, 4 sets of 10 squats in another session. Start off with an easy or a moderate weight, and then crank it up as you're getting through your weeks of training. I'll just adjust this so you guys can see me a bit better. Third thing that we need to do is we need to nail our recovery at the end of day one, going into day two. For a single day race, it doesn't really, recovery is important, but it doesn't matter as much because you don't need to do anything on day two. One of the big problems I see with Gas Dash and Fink and a lot of multi-day events is people don't put the work into their recovery after race day. So they rock up on day 2 at 80%, then they rock up on day 3 at 60%, and then if it's like the Australian 4-day, you get into day 4 and you really don't want to be there. So what we want to make sure is that we're doing everything we can at the end of day 1 to make sure that you're ready for day 2. A big part of that is making sure you get plenty of food in. Get a good serving of steak in, some protein, get some fats in, but definitely make sure you get some carbohydrates in. Could be mashed potato, could be some pasta. Could be pumpkin, okay, could be some rice. We want to make sure all the stuff that we've lost while we've been racing, we're giving back to our body at the end of the day when we can digest it because we're not racing. And then that's going to allow us to be able to recover as best we can, repair ourselves, and then be ready for day 2. If you'd like some help with your fitness and nutrition leading up to Gash, apply for my Faster Laps program below. Otherwise, hopefully you enjoyed this video.